And then I'm a big, being in the dairy-related industry for 30 years, I'm a big believer of milk, but not certain kinds of milk. Not milk from feedlot animals fed a lot of grain, not pasteurized milk products whatsoever. In fact, I've not eaten pasteurized milk products with an occasional cheating once in a while, and it's such a long time that when I do, I really get cramped up. I get gassy and I get very uncomfortable. So I've already found out that I can't eat this stuff. But what we're looking at with the raw milk is, again, retinol for immune function, mucosal membrane health. Vitamin A, it's one of the most powerful things to protect the lining of the mucosal linings of the eyes, the ears, the throat, the GI tract, the small intestine, the vagina, the cervix, everywhere. Again, it contains the fat vitamin D, which is the premier calcium ionizer. If you can't ionize calcium in the gut, and that means you have to have the right flora there, but you also need vitamin D. Vitamin D is not even a vitamin. If it was discovered today, it would be called a hormone. That's why it's called cholecalciferol. You know, it's a hormone. And vitamin D ionizes calcium, and nothing else can really ionize calcium. So if you're not getting enough sunshine, which in my neck of the woods this time of the year, nobody gets enough sunshine. And for that matter of fact, most people year-round don't get any sunshine because their doctors have told them to stay out of the sun. And one of the best ways to protect yourself from sun cancer, or sun-induced cancer, I should say, is vitamin A. So get plenty of vitamin A, and then you can get out in the sun and have the protection, and then get the vitamin D to synthesize it. If you're not doing that, you better be taking cod liver oil or raw milk, dairy products with the fat in them. This low-fat stuff is totally insane. It's one of the best ways to destroy civilization and get rid of this good fat. It really is. It's maddening how the United States is becoming the most obese country in the face of the earth, and there's been an absolute pandemic of frenzied purchasing of low-fat and no-fat products in the last 10 years, and we're getting fatter by the hour over there. So what's going on? You know, everybody goes and it's no-fat, low-fat. What really drives me crazy when I go to a friend's house and they give me a cup of coffee, which is still one of my sins, which I'm going to commit until the day I'm not here, is they put skim milk in my coffee. I mean, that's like an oxymoron. Why even put skim milk? It's like putting latex paint in your coffee. I don't get that. But, I mean, a little glob of cream, you know, it's like, I'm going to get fat. And meantime, she's, you know. So it's loaded with lactic acid organisms. Again, they're live. When you pasteurize it, you destroy those organisms. There's at least 22 amino acids, including the 8 essential there. It's got 500 saturated and unsaturated fatty acids, which you need to metabolize the protein and the calcium. The minerals are metabolically available. One of the downsides of pasteurizing milk is it destroys a very important enzyme called phosphatase. Phosphatase is an enzyme that allows you to absorb calcium and phosphorus. And then when you absorb calcium and phosphorus, you also absorb magnesium and all the trace elements. So, and there you can see there's 24 trace elements, particularly if the animals are on grass. One of the best ways to extract minerals out of the earth is with grass. And one of the best ways to convert those minerals from grass is through ruminant, grazing animals. Enzymes, that's a typo. There's at least 35 enzymes identified in raw milk, including the ones I just mentioned: lipase, lactase, galactose, catalase, diatase, peroxidase. And then there's this guy. If we're talking about cancer and immune function, conjugated linoleic acid, also known as CLA. And CLA is the most, so far, powerful food substance, anti-carcinogenic food substance known to man. They could not even induce cancer in the laboratory animals, and when the laboratory animals were being fed adequate levels of CLA. They wouldn't get it. And CLA is only found one way, and that is in the fat of animals on grass. See? Really, human beings are grass eaters. We just can't go out there and graze. We got to get it indirectly, because the alpha omega 3s are really we're also craving. So you've got to get that CLA only one way. Chickens and turkeys don't give you this, but goats, sheep, cows, the meat fat, beef, the meat fat, and the milk fat provide this powerful substance. Tremendous amounts of research, believe it or not, at places like the University of Wisconsin, the dairy state of Pennsylvania, also Utah State University is doing some great work on CLA. Cornell University's got some great work. And what I'm here to tell farmers that are here is that we've got a whole new meat industry and milk industry because of this. In 1985, the first international symposium on alpha omega 3 fatty acids was held That's pretty recently. In 1996, the first research papers were released on CLA. And the only way you can produce these wonderful fats and fatty acid compounds is with these animals that are on grass. The factory farm industry doesn't know how to do this. They can't do it. The question was, do I know of any connections between breast cancer and milk products? The connection is with pasteurized products. The studies, when they're looked at, and this is what you have to look at when you look at these studies, what are they looking at when they look at these substances? There's very few studies that have ever been done on raw milk in modern times. And they're talking about insulin growth factor and all these other things. But actually the studies, if you look at the papers, people that were drinking raw milk were not susceptible to breast cancer if it was from these kinds of animals particularly. Because the protective factors are in the grass, which translate into the milk. Feedlot cows that are fed grain, the profile of omega-6 to omega-3 changes dramatically. Then you go ahead and commit the ultimate sin of pasteurizing, which does not sterilize the milk, by the way. Pasteurization does not sterilize milk. In fact, it makes it more susceptible to rot. Raw milk, if it's good raw milk, loaded with antioxidants, which gives you the preservative, the vitamin E and the vitamin A and all those things actually act as a natural preservative. It goes sour. I've got cream in my refrigerator right now that I've had in there since October, and I still drink it. It's sour cream. It's still edible. It's not bad. There's no way you could go 10 days and have cream in your refrigerator that's pasteurized. Then they homogenize it, which means they take the fat and they break it down to microscopic particles. And then when fat gets into your small intestine, there's this wonderful substance called bile, which emulsifies the fat, which is released out of the gallbladder. All right, and then the pancreatic enzymes like lipase start to break that down. Well, what happens then is you're able to separate all the essential fatty acids and things go on as you're supposed to, assuming you don't have dysbiosis, which is leaky gut. Well, when you homogenize it, they break these particles down so small, there is no time or size for the bile to emulsify the fat, so it goes right into the bloodstream. Now, fat, when it's not broken down by the bile, contains a substance called xanthine oxidase, XO factor, and it's very hard on the lining of the arteries and the veins, which is one of the reasons why people get cholesterol levels that build up, because cholesterol is road patch that deals with tremendous amounts of damage to the lining of the arteries and veins coming from toxic materials and a deficiency of antioxidants in the diet. You have a question or a comment? He brought up a good comment. If you can't get raw milk, is it okay to culture milk? And that would be the next best thing, except if you can get the non-homogenized stuff. The homogenization thing is not a good thing. In fact, homogenization is more of an adulteration than pasteurization is, because that xanthine oxidase is really nasty stuff. But it certainly does enliven the milk because you're putting in live cultures, which then start producing enzymes, facilitating the digestion and absorption of the nutrients that are in milk. But when I make yogurt or kefir, a lot of people still pasteurize the milk because they want a sterile medium, so to speak, to add their own specific yogurt cultures. You don't have to do that. You can throw yogurt cultures in and it'll still make a great kefir, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful milkshake, and it's real simple to do. You just have to incubate it at around 100 degrees Fahrenheit.